All right guys, we're back on this farm. As you can see, this is a cornfield. So what we're gonna do is take the skid steer with the bush hog, mow over some more corn stalks. That way the deer have corn on the ground, and then with these cold temps, you know, they've been eating on this corn pretty well, so we're about to give them another meal. So I'm gonna get to it.
All right, guys, so today we're out here on a property that we've been doing a lot of work for over the last couple of years, and they're wanting to get, there's about 72 acres back here they're wanting logged. It's just big, giant river bottom trees. Not a super profitable cut, but we're gonna log it all. Just for a habitat standpoint, it needs to be done. So we brought Charlie the forester. Charlie has been helping us out a little bit and possibly, hopefully gonna come work for us full time this spring when he gets finished with college. But he's going to school for forestry, so this is like a super fun project. You know, whenever he's home, we can go out and look at some of our farms that we're gonna do projects on. And he can do everything for a logger. You know, we're not cutters by no means, but at least now we can get the board footage out of it, get a bid put together, and then send it out to local loggers to see who wants to cut it. So I'm gonna let Charlie kind of show you guys what he does, measuring the tree, and then the rest of it, I have zero idea because I am not a forester.
All right, so whenever we come out here, we'll walk through the woods and we'll kind of I always take like just a quick look, and I can tell kind of what's gonna be there. I'll look at the form class of the different trees, how well they're shaped. And then coming up to this one, it's not super greatly shaped, but it'll be a good example. So I come up to it and I measure my diameter here, and then I'll back up and look at it and see about how many logs I think I'm gonna be able to get out of it. This would just be one 16-foot log. So then I'll refer back to my scale. It's about a 16-inch tree with one 16-foot log, so I know I got 72 board foot. So if I was in here marking it for timber, I'd come up, I'd paint it, I'd tally down my footage of how many, what species it is, and this is a silver maple here, what species it is, diameter, height, and then that'll give me my board footage through an equation that I can do and do them all at once on a spreadsheet. So then I'll come through and I'll look at it, and I can come through and look at how much basal area, so how many, if you look across an acre, how many square footage of tree there is living there. And we can thin it down as far as we want to get more regeneration in the understory and different herbaceous plants growing.
So that's the main reason that we're gonna log this, is to get sunlight to the bottom, you know, to the forest floor, right, to get some of the natives grasses back up, which we know that, you know, we've always hunted river bottom ground, that we have lots of grassy areas in the river bottoms, or massive ash trees like this, right, or CRP plantings.
Right.
We're wanting to hold more deer here, and so this farm's always needed like a sanctuary. So we have 70-acre peninsula that we're gonna turn into just a straight sanctuary. Like, we didn't come into this thinking that we're about to get rich off of our trees and pay the property off or anything like that. Right. But we know that we can generate a little bit of revenue off of this to help maybe fund the rest of our project on this farm. And then it just adds value to it whenever we can get everything else set up. So kind of the game plan on this farm, you know, it's a 200-acre farm. We're gonna log 70 acres of it, get the natives back growing, open up the canopy. And then out in here, we've got a lot of junk trees and shrubs that won't take much for the dozer to rip these out. And we're looking at possibly putting like 25 to 35 acres of food out here. We just bush hogged the rest of our corn, and the deer numbers that we're seeing back here is insane, but we've got a lot of management deer here that need to be shot. So having corn this year and being able to bush hog, it's kind of cherry picking it, to be honest. But that's what we want. We want to get those deer out of here, get them out of the gene pool, get bigger deer, grow bigger deer, house bigger deer. Right. That's the whole goal at this, is how can we make the deer herd better? And the first step is getting all this logged. So this farm is super freaking cool because 3/4 of it is river access. So we can boat in on most of all of this and get into spots. You know, access is always king on every property that we look at. And this one is just bulletproof on that side of it. So we're pretty much now, we're at the point, you know, coming in here and start to mark all this, and then we'll get it out for bid and see if we're not gonna lose any money, no, but we're definitely not gonna make very much either. But you know what, if it gets us a couple box blinds and and pays a dozer bill to get the rest of this cleared out, we'll be sitting pretty good. You know, a lot of trees in these river bottoms, you know, are soft maples and cottonwoods, which this farm is full of soft maple. There is some gigantic cottonwoods in here too, which a lot of those we want to leave just for the turkeys.
Right. Great roosting habitat.
Yeah, so not super valuable trees. We knew that there wasn't black walnut down here, or veneer, or white oak.
But that's just not something you're going to see walking into a river bottom either. I mean, this is pretty expected as far as, I mean, we can see 150 yards through the woods on ginormous trees. It's not great for very many kinds of wildlife.
Yeah, I mean, you access, you know, you think that you're 300 yards away. Well, that deer, sorry, but the other side of the river is 250 yards that way, and that deer is going to peg you every time that you're on this side.
Yep.
So that's the biggest thing, is just thickening this place up. And we have a lot of properties that we have bought or leased that we hunt that have been logged before, and usually 2 to 3 years after on those farms, it's
pretty good.
It's done pretty good, and
Yeah.
we're able to get some deer a little bit higher
Yeah.
age and antler growth. So that's the main reason that we're going to do that on this farm, you know. But even if you guys have questions about logging, you know, don't be afraid to DM us. We're not loggers, but we have a forester, so we can help manage your timber, but we just ain't coming to cut it.